Alright guys, James here from 5 Star Rating 22. This is just going to be a quick video on some of the tools I use for painting. So, I'm just going to start at one end here and go right through. First of all, I got my flush cut snips that I use, both from Army Painter. One's for plastic, one's for metal. Metal one's obviously a little more heavy duty, and I got both these with, they come out, Army Painter has these awesome starter sets that come with like three things. They, one for the metal, they have a metal starter set that comes with this, a file, and super glue. And then they have the one that comes with this metal snips, or with these plastic snips that comes with these X-Acto knife and then some plastic glue. So those are great. Those are good to have. Gotta have flush cut. Alright, next I have my Sakura Micron pens. I bought these in a set, which was great. It came with 3 different sizes. As you can see there, I've got the .05, .03, and .01, which is great. I love these pens. I use them for script work. Freehanding, lines, checker marks, eye pupils, all kinds of stuff. So these are great to have. Size 5 is size .05 is the most common one you kind of see out there. This one's a good general one. I like the size 01 just because of how fine it is. I really like to use that one quite a bit. So, but it's nice to have variety, and I think I paid $6 for the pack. Next thing I have toothbrush, old toothbrush. Just a cheapo, really cheap, and I use this for a lot of things. You can use it for a stippling effect. You can use it for weathering. I know that a lot of people used to do this. You dip the end in paint, take your thumb, hold your vehicle away from it, take your thumb, run across the bristles, and what it'll do is it'll splatter what looks like mud on it. If you use like a brown paint, use a few different colors, splatter that on, and it'll sprinkle it on and make it look like it got splattered on there. So that works good for that. And then also, I use this for cleaning my metal models or plastic models if I think they've got a lot of the release agent on it. I use a soft soap, use this to brush in, make sure I get it all over, nice and into the creases and recesses and stuff, so it's good to have this. I have a couple old ones. This one's my one that's in better condition. My other one's pretty beat up, but I have a couple of those. Good to have a toothbrush. And let's see here. Then, of course, I've got my files. I originally got these for mold lines, but found out I don't really like them that much for mold lines. I mainly use these now for removing chapter insignia from Space Marines or details on the model that I'd rather not have on there. They work pretty good for that, especially on metal models, because if you ever tried to remove signia from a metal model before, you know that that's a pain. The file helps out with that quite a bit. My favorite would probably be this nice triangular one here. I really like this one. It's a little bit not as wide, and it fits into a lot of places and works really well. So files are great too to have. Then of course X-Acto blade. This is just one from Walmart. It works great. Always have sharp blades on hand. I have 2 extra packs of blades that you know, they're not that expensive to have extra blades, so you know, always have some on hand. And I change this fairly often. I haven't changed it in a while. I probably should, but you gotta have an X-Acto blade. Works good for a lot of things. Next, tweezers, and I believe I got these from a gas station actually for like $2. So nice small tweezers. I use these for almost everything. I mean, I think I've probably used this for some sort of everything, I would imagine. I've used it for decals. I've used it to hold small pieces while I've painted. I've used it for holding things to set them on bases. I've used it for, you know, placing graphs, all kinds of stuff. So small set of tweezers are great. Syringe, just a plastic clear syringe. I use this for mixing paint so I can get an exact measurement if I want. And I use it for my thinners if I want to get an exact measurement on that, if I'm making up like a pot of paint or something. So it's good to have this. This came out of a kid's ibuprofen medicine thing, so after he was done with that, I kept the syringe, cleaned it up really good. And you know, after I use it every time, I make sure to clean it really good because I don't want any old paint stuff in there starting to mess it up. So nice one of those. Of course, pinning vise. This one's from Games Workshop. I really like theirs, and this comes in handy for a lot of things as well. For such as boring out the barrels of projectile or ballistic based weapons. Next, paintbrushes. My most commonly used one or favorite one would be this Kolinsky. It's a travel brush, as you can see there. It goes inside of itself like that, and then screws on top there, so you got a nice brush. It's protected for while traveling, and I do travel, so it's nice to have this with when I want to bring my brush, when I want to bring a nice brush with, and I don't want it to get ruined, because even with those plastic tips on it, they can fall off, and then your brush gets bent, and then it's ruined, then you have to throw it away. So I really like this, plus it's Kolinsky. Kolinsky brushes are amazing. Next, you've seen this before. This is a brush that I use for when I paint with metallics. What I've noticed is since I always use my paints so thinned out, if I go and like tip mine up with paint on it, it'll run down into the ferrule. And with the metallics, it really seems to it really seems to stick down in that ferrule, and it's hard to get off. I've had this for a long time. I think I got it from Walmart. It's just a cheap brush, but it works well. So, you know, you're probably gonna say, why don't you just use the same brush? Well, I'd rather be safe than sorry, I guess. So it doesn't, it doesn't bother me to pay $3 to have a brush just for metallics. And then I have my Army Painter brushes. I have two sizes, Insane Detail and Character. I used to use this character most of the time before I got the Kolinsky, but now I use the Kolinsky. But I still use this every once in a while. I really like the grip on this, the triangular hold. It's really nice. The handle's great. And then I have my Insane Detail brush that's really good for smaller work. Army Painter is a really good brush for the price. They're really nice for the price. And then you've seen this is a Prager Taklon size 4 brush with the fake fibers, and I use this for my washes, and I really like it. And I like that it's flat because when I pull it over, it seems to wipe the wash off the outer parts and kind of deposit it nicely into the recesses. So I really like this brush, and it's cheaper than cheap. When this one starts to get a little bit more bad, I'll throw it out and go buy a new one for $3. Not a bad deal. Dry brushes. I have two dry brushes, both from Games Workshop. One's their old school that I've had for about 5 or 6 years, somewhere in there. And you can see it's all kind of bent and warped and whatnot, but it still works. I use it quite a bit actually on bases and different things like that. And it kind of got its own character because it's so warped. And then I have a medium dry brush, a newer one that I use quite a bit. I really like Games Workshop dry brushes. They're not bad. So then I have my stippling brush. It's not bad. I don't use it a whole bunch, but I do use it here and there. But I wish the bristles weren't quite as stiff. I know that's they're supposed to be kind of hard, but I mean it's really hard. I'd rather it be a little bit softer or bristled because I think it'd hold paint a little better. But anyways, that's my stippling brush. Then I have my two brushes that I use for base coating. I have my Kolinsky size 2 Da Vinci Maestro that I use quite a bit. I love this brush. Fine point, great. I mean, it's awesome. If you haven't used a Kolinsky, I recommend going out and getting one. They're great. Then I have my standard brush from Games Workshop. This one's pretty nice. It's not as big as the Kolinsky, so I use this for a little smaller of areas. I would probably say that this is about a size 1, somewhere in between a size 1 and a size 2. But yeah, I like that brush. It works just fine as well too for base coating. Then I have here, this is an old Games Workshop brush that the bristles were falling out and it got really old, so I just pulled them out, poured this out with my pin vise, put a toothpick in there, and or just the end of a toothpick. I shave it down, and I take my X-Acto knife and I bring it to a nice point, and I use this for two things. I used to use it for the pupils in my eyeballs because it was nice. You could just dip it in whatever, dark brown, dark blue, or whatever you're using, black, and then you just poke it in the eye, and there you go. You got a perfectly round pupil, which was, pretty easy to do, and it made them look nice. But then I started using this. I've probably been working on this now for somewhere in between 6 months, 5 months, 6 months, where I've been working on trying to do dot painting, and I was using this for quite a while, trying to do it, but I'm not sure yet, but I'll talk about that in another video. So, that's just something kind of extra that I use. And then I have my old Warhammer or Games Workshop brush here. This is the one you've seen me use for wear and tear effects. It's there's other ways of doing it to make it look better wear and tear effects, but this way is quicker, a lot quicker. It's really fast. Paint, blab blab blab, paint, blab blab blab, and you're done pretty much. So I like that. And then I have here is Walmart brush. It's size 2. It was made in China. This thing was probably 50 cents of a paintbrush in the pack. It's nice, but the width of it is perfect for doing the rims of bases. So I use this for putting the coats on my base for the first coats a lot of the times. So that's just cheapo brush. Alright, well that's it guys. That's pretty much all the stuff I used. I didn't talk about my thinners. I'm going to do another video where I talk about my thinners and additives to my paint. And so you guys will hear about that then. You guys will see another some more painting videos coming out within the next couple days. So I hope you guys are excited about that. I'm excited. I just needed a break to work on some of my army, which I've been, working on what's going to be the next video. I've been working on my Terminators. So, as you can see there, just my Terminator. Yep. Gotta like Terminators. Love them. Love Terminators. So, that'll be the next video. And I have another one after that planned for Dark Elders. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you've seen something maybe it was interesting. But anyways, for now,
later.